The Heartthrob 4-inch aluminized Cat-Back is available for any 3.5 EcoBoost owner who's looking to get the most budget-friendly Cat-Back on the market with a single side exit design, coming in right around the $400 mark. Now for everything you see here, this is all just bare bones material, so it's for the guys out there who are not concerned about appearance, just concerned about the sound. This one will arguably produce the best sound for the 3.5 EcoBoost F150, which we all know is saying a lot because the EcoBoost produced a pretty much less than favorable noise. Now with that said, the install is going to be very simple, so expect a 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. First thing I want to touch on here is going to be the exhaust sound, which honestly does not disappoint. Now obviously it's not the most attractive system in the world, all natural materials, no real exhaust tip, but as Justin would say, this is a don't judge a book by its cover type of exhaust because arguably it produces one of the best sounds for your 3.5 EcoBoost. You are hearing that correct. A best sound for an EcoBoost. Now we know from the factory they produce pretty much a less than favorable sound. Now in this case, in my personal opinion, you're getting a very unique sound that kind of beefs up that 3.5 motor and gives it an aggressive note. This, however, I will say once you get on the street, will start to give up a slight growl, but once you hit the highway or even at idle, dead quiet. I'll be giving it a very generous 3 out of 5 on our loudness meter. Now to reiterate, this is in no way, shape, or form meant to be any kind of styling part with a single side exit design. It's manufactured right here in the US out of a 4-inch aluminized steel tubing from top to bottom. Obviously it's a massive bullet style muffler. This aluminized steel that we have here isn't the highest quality materials. Honestly, it's more of an entry-level product meant to keep the pricing down, but it does come with unrestricted mandrel bends for a more free-flowing design. This is definitely not the best choice for the guys out there in any wintry weather areas seeing a lot of salt on the roads, as it might shorten its lifetime, but as I mentioned, that is simply just to keep the price down, making this one the most budget-friendly option on the market. Now with that said, this does come with the 4-inch diameter tubing, which the turbos do love, so it does produce a very nice sound from the turbos, of course. But on top of that, it also deletes the factory resonator, so keep all that in mind when you're shopping around. Speaking of that price tag, everything you see on the table here from the Heartthrob option is gonna come in right around the $400 mark. Nothing flashy done to this option, bare bones materials, no polished finishes, no powder coatings. So if that is what you're gearing towards and you'd like a more attractive tip coming out the side exit, there are tons of different options out there, including the MBRP, which is probably your best bet as far as budgets are concerned. Shifting gears over to the install portion of the video, as I mentioned in the very beginning, this one's going to be pretty simple, straightforward, 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. However, I will say there's one added extra step that you might have to tackle. What I mean by might is you can see here with our extension pipe, depending on your cab size and your bed length combination, you might have to make a single slice to this here extension pipe. You'll measure twice, cut once, and you'll be done with that, and you can move on to the bolt-on install portion here, which by the way, just simple ratchet and socket set will do the trick. All the clamps and flanges are included in the kit. Very simple swap here aside from the cut you'll be making there. Overall, you should be able to tackle this one in 1-2 hours tops at the absolute maximum. So when it comes down to it, getting to the nitty-gritty stuff, you'll have to unbolt your factory Cat-Back, obviously starting from the tip, moving your way back to the mid-pipe, and just toss all that stuff aside. It's really just a matter of unclamping everything and pulling them out of their hangers, and then removing it from the mid-pipe flange. Once that's taken care of, just work your way backwards after you make the cut to the extension pipe if you need to do so. Once that's taken care of, you can start by putting up this front extension pipe going up to the mid pipe, attaching the flange, which is already on the tubing, to the one already on your mid pipe. From there, work your way back to the muffler, and then of course there is no tailpipe tip, so just it kind of ends with the end of the piping. With that said, hour or 2 at the absolute maximum, 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. That pretty much does it for me. If you're the owner of an 11 of 14 3.5 EcoBoost F150, check out the Heartthrob 4-inch aluminized Cat-Back exhaust system, available right here at AmericanTrucks.com.